Thanks for keeping your hair like that.
Oh.
Hello.
Yeah, I guess I can turn it back. No, you know what?
Josh is being gangster this evening.
We them boys. No. It's all right. I mean, unless the live chat really wants me to keep it that way. Hi, Thomas.
It's a mystery.
Oh.
We are inundated with cats once again. Pond is back. You missed him yesterday. He had dental work done this week, so he's not been feeling himself and has been hiding. But is clearly feeling better because he's sleeping on our bed again.
Indeed.
So,
well, welcome everybody. We are Digital Hammurabi. Dr. Josh. This is Megan, soon to be Dr. Megan. I know I keep saying that. Sorry.
I love you for saying it. It's really nice.
I mean, it seems like there's this disparity, like, oh, Dr. Josh and then Megan, but she's a whole hell of a lot smarter than I am. So we are into doing things like bringing the ancient Near East to you, and
you make it sound like some bizarre fetish.
I mean, I guess no, it's definitely not. It's amazing. That's what it is.
It is amazing.
I guess amazing and bizarre fetish doesn't. They're not necessarily
they're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
This has taken a strange turn already.
Indeed.
I mean, even for us, this got weird fast.
Penis.
I feel awful for people who watch these for the very first time and are just suddenly inundated with phallic references.
Yeah. But you know what? It's a
bit of a running joke by now, to be honest.
It's all a journey.
It is all a journey. We're going to be finishing early tonight because Josh is going on Skylar's show at 8:30. So we are here until 8:25.
Mm-hmm.
Then pop over to Skylar's channel and he and Josh will be talking.
Yeah. So I'm a moron. I mean, if you've been watching for any amount of time, you know that to be true already.
No one knows that to be true.
So somebody asked last night if we were going to do a stream tonight. I thought, let's try to do one. But Skylar and I are going to go live at 8:30. I think you guys should watch it. It's going to be actually really nice. We're responding to a critique, of him that he did a debate with IP 4 weeks ago, maybe. And somebody did a response video, which I thought was silly, but mentioned me, which made me want to say, I'm not a very confrontational person, but it made me want to respond. So I'm going to go on his show at 8:30 and we're going to do like a review of the video. And so it should be good. But I did want to do something tonight. And so I thought, what can we do? You know what? Let's read through Gudea. Let's do the Gudea cylinders. It's such a really important piece of Sumerian literature. And so I put up the Google Hangout this morning or whatever it's called. And I got really excited. And then Megan said, we're doing Gilgamesh in the book club right now.
I didn't say that. I'd forgotten as well.
I don't know why, you could still see me in the camera.
Nope.
So that really wasn't terribly helpful.
Can't see you at all.
No, definitely not. So anyway, I had to change it back. So we will do Gudea, though, for those of you that got excited about.
Yeah, we have to finish Gilgamesh first.
Yeah, we got to finish Gilgamesh.
Yeah. Skylar's in the chat. Hi, Skylar. And Infinite Blast joined us.
All right.
And Vlad Tepe. Hello, everybody. Yes, Vlad Tepe is saying that the Gudea cylinders are long. They are crazy long. So there's no way we're going to get through the rest of Gilgamesh and then Gudea cylinders tonight. We probably won't finish Gilgamesh tonight.
No, definitely not. But I did want to do something.
The cylinders are on the list because they're really cool.
They are awesome. I mean, if you want to see
they're
a guy...
beautifully written as well. They're really fun to translate.
And honestly, for those of you that are taking the Sumerian grammar course, then I promise I will be quiet. Otherwise,
the whole point of this is for you to talk.
I think the point is for you to talk. With your British accent. Pip, pip. Jolly good show.
Quite right.
Quite right. So much of our Sumerian grammar is based on those Gudea cylinders. So it's a very important literary text. Okay. We are, well, you tell them.
We finished tablet 4, tablets 1 through 4 last time. So we
did.
With tablet 5, and Gilgamesh and Enkidu, they met, they fell in love, maybe, who knows. They became really good friends, and then Gilgamesh's mother adopted Enkidu. So they're friends and brothers, and they went on this.
They're brothers.
They're brothers. Exactly. They went on this fantastic journey, and Gilgamesh had a whole bunch of dream visions, and Enkidu translated them for him. And they are going to try and kill Humbaba, the monster guardian of the cedar forest. And they just arrived at the cedar forest. So
it's time to get down with the get down.
We have some action for you. As ever, if you have questions as we're going, put them in the live chat. I'll stop periodically and read them. If I miss them, please post them again. It's nothing personal. I'm not ignoring you. I just can't always keep up with whatever's going on while I'm reading. So yes, put them in the live chat. If you want to make sure I see them, tag me at Digital Hammurabi so that they're bright orange and really difficult to miss.
They're bronze.
They're bronze.
I'm a nerd. I apologize.
Actually, they're the same color as your hat. There we go. So let's get going. Tablet 5, the combat with Humbaba. Oh, actually, there's a nice little synopsis here. Oh, and for those who didn't join us last time, we are using the Penguin Classics version, which is translated by Andrew George. Andrew George is fantastic, and this is... Gilgamesh is what he does. He's like...
It's what he does.
It's what he does. He's the world expert on Gilgamesh. So if you want a good translation that is accessible, I recommend the Penguin Classic. There's also a video on YouTube that I need to find and link in the description.
It's called a Thug Summary of Gilgamesh.
Not what I was talking about, but yes, we can link that too. It's Andrew George giving a lecture about Gilgamesh.
It would be nice to see Andrew George doing the Thug Summary. I don't think it'll happen though.
That would be cool. I'd be down with that. Okay, so after admiring the mountain dense grown with cedar, that's a weird phrase, the heroes draw their weapons and creep into the forest. Dun dun dun. There they stood, marveling at the forest, gazing at the lofty cedars, gazing at forest's entrance, where Humbaba came and went. There was a track. The path was straight and the way well trodden. They saw the mountain of cedar, seat of gods and goddesses' throne. On the face of the mountain, the cedar proffered its abundance. Its shade was sweet and full of delight. Thick tangled was the thorn, the forest a shrouding canopy. There's a bit of a gap here. I'm not going to read it because it's too broken. Basically, it's a conversation between Enkidu and Gilgamesh. It looks like Enkidu is, as has been happening through the rest of the story, Enkidu is not entirely convinced that they should be doing what they're doing. Gilgamesh is kind of goading him and persuading him that actually this is a great idea and that we should just go for it. So, we have come to a place where a man shouldn't go. Let us set our weapons in the gate of Humbaba. Enkidu declared to his friend, a tempest's onslaught is ferocious, Humbaba. Like the god of the storm, he will trample us down. Humbaba opened his mouth to speak, saying to Gilgamesh, let fools take counsel, Gilgamesh, with the rude and brutish. Why have you come here into my presence? Come, Enkidu, you spawn of a fish who knew no father, hatchling of terrapin and turtle who sucked no mother's milk. In your youth I watched you, but near you I went not. Would your something have filled my belly? Now in treachery you bring before me Gilgamesh, and stand there, Enkidu, a warlike stranger. I will slit the throat and gullet of Gilgamesh. I will feed his flesh to the locust bird, ravening eagle and vulture.
So if you think about it, if you remember, Enkidu is originally created by the goddess in the woods, right, in the steppe. And he's with the animals, he's animal-like. And so this identification with Humbaba, who's the guardian of the cedar forest, is not strange to see. So now he's saying, I knew you when you were out here in the forest, and now you've essentially become a traitor, and now I'm going to kick your ass.
Yep. That's not nice.
No.
Sorry.
You want me to read? Or are you good?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. It's upside down. Right. Where did you leave off? Yep. Okay. Gilgamesh opened his mouth to speak, saying to Enkidu, my friend Humbaba's features have changed. Though boldly we came up to his lair to defeat him, yet my heart will not quickly... Enkidu opened his mouth to speak, saying to Gilgamesh, why, my friend, do you speak like a weakling? With your spineless words, you make me despondent. Now, my friend, but one is our task. The copper is already pouring into the mold. to stoke the furnace for an hour, to something the coals for an hour, to send the deluge is to crack the whip. Don't draw back. Don't make a retreat. Make your blow mighty. He smote the ground and faced him head on. At the heels of their feet, the earth burst asunder. They shattered as they whirled. Mounts Sirion and Lebanon. Black became the clouds of white, raining down on them death like a mist. Another rocket launch, I think, is what we're looking at here. Do you see my eyes? Okay, sorry. Shamash roused against Humbaba the mighty gale winds, south wind, north wind, east wind, and west wind, blast, counterblast, typhoon, hurricane, and tempest, devil wind, frost wind, gale, and tornado. There rose 13 winds, and the face of Humbaba darkened. He could not charge forwards. He could not kick backwards. The weapons of Gilgamesh then reached Humbaba. In a plea for his life, said Humbaba to Gilgamesh, "You are so young, Gilgamesh, your mother just bore you, but indeed you are the offspring of wild cow Ninsun. By Shamash's command, the mountains you flattened. O offshoot sprung from Uruk's midst, Gilgamesh the king. Gilgamesh, a dead man cannot, alive for his lord. Spare my life, O Gilgamesh. Let me dwell here for you in the cedar forest. Trees as many as you command. I will guard your myrtle, timber to be the pride of your palace."
So this may not seem like much. I'll give you all the trees in the whole world. But as we mentioned last time, Mesopotamia is not a region known for its trees. So if you want to build any kind of ships or have wooden roofing or wooden doors, you have to import the lumber from somewhere else. And this is why the cedar forest of Lebanon is such a big kind of semi-mythical place. It's a real place, obviously, that real kings went to cut down trees. But it also takes on this mythical status in the myths and the legends. So Humbaba here is actually being very generous and saying, all of this wood will be yours. I will look after it. No one else will take it from you, and you can have as much as you want. He's pretty scared, as I would be.
I mean, they could get the wood from Nibiru, but it's just, it takes a long time to get there from the spaceship. So if you, we got 14 people watching right now, which is really awesome. Really appreciate it, you guys. If you like the stream, please give it a like. And I always want to say if you Twitter.
I think we can use Twitter as a verb.
Yeah, let's use Twitter as a verb. I Twittered the other day. No, that says something about me. Anyway, if you want to share it, that'd be great. If you haven't subscribed, I'm sure you all have. But okay, sorry. Enough of my shameless pitching. It's your turn.
Okay.
Because your voice is better.
Aww. Enkidu opened his mouth to speak, saying to Gilgamesh, "Do not listen, my friends, to Humbaba's words. Ignore his supplications." So this is really weird. Enkidu the whole way has been saying, we shouldn't kill Humbaba, we should leave him alone, let's go and do something else. Here, he's finally got the chance to persuade Gilgamesh to not kill Humbaba, the way he's been trying to persuade him all journey. And he's like, no, kill him. It's all good.
And of course, the idea I think that we'll see, as Megan will point out, is that, you've poked the bear. You can't let him live now.
Nope.
Because he's gonna kill you.
Yeah,
if you turn back now. So
Humbaba opened his mouth to speak, saying to Enkidu, "You are experienced in the ways of my forest, the ways. Also, you know all the arts of speech. I should have picked you up and hanged you from a sapling at the way into the forest. I should have fed your flesh to the locust bird, ravening eagle, and vulture. Now, Enkidu, my release lies with you. Tell Gilgamesh to spare my life." Enkidu opened his mouth to speak, saying to Gilgamesh, "My friend, Humbaba who guards the forest of cedar, finish him, slay him, do away with his power. Humbaba who guards the forest of cedar, finish him, slay him, do away with his power, before Enlil the foremost hears what we do." So this is a little bit of a twist. You don't want to anger Enlil, and apparently what they're doing is not something that Enlil will be terribly pleased with. "The great gods will take against us in anger, Enlil and Nippur, Shamash and Larsa. Establish forever a fame that endures, how Gilgamesh slew ferocious Humbaba." Humbaba opened his mouth to speak, saying to Enkidu, "You sit before him like a shepherd, like his hireling, doing his bidding. Now, Enkidu, my release lies with you. Tell Gilgamesh to spare my life." Enkidu opened his mouth to speak, saying to Gilgamesh, "My friend, Humbaba, who guards the forest of cedar, finish him, slay him, do away with his power, before Enlil the foremost hears what we do. The great gods will take against us in anger. Enlil and Nippur, Shamash and Lhasa, establish forever a fame that endures, how Gilgamesh slew ferocious Humbaba." Humbaba heard and bitterly cursed them. "May the pair of them not grow old. Besides Gilgamesh his friend, none shall bury Enkidu." Enkidu opened his mouth to speak, saying to Gilgamesh, "My friend, I speak to you, but you do not hear me. Let those curses return to his mouth." Gilgamesh heard the words of his friend. He drew forth the dirk at his side. Gilgamesh smote him in the neck, Enkidu, while he pulled out the lungs. From the head he took the tusks as booty. Rain in plenty fell upon the mountain. Said Gilgamesh to him to Enkidu. Oh, hang on a minute. George gives an alternative to the narrative that we just read.
Oh, another version?
Yeah. I mean, it's basically the same. They kill Humbaba, and then cut off his head, cut off his tusks.
I think we have a question.
Oh, we do have a question. John Kobu, how is Gilgamesh 2/3 God, and who is the other third? One part is Ninsun, and what about the rest? So Gilgamesh's parents are typically given as Ninsun, who's a goddess, and Lugalbanda, who is a king, but kind of not exactly mortal, kind of.
There is a sort of a series of Sumerian literary texts called the Enmerkar texts. Enmerkar is a king of Uruk, and Lugalbanda is one of his 8 main warriors. And some pretty fantastic things happen to Lugalbanda. He goes into a mountain cave and is taken up for dead, essentially, and the gods bring him back to life. Sort of, they heal him. He doesn't actually die. But then he runs into the Anzu bird, and the Anzu bird gives him great speed in his legs. And anyway, there's a lot of stuff that happens with Lugalbanda. So Lugalbanda is sort of this. He's definitely a legendary figure. But Lugalbanda is also called a personal god. So it's not. There's something
not overly clear.
There's something that you kind of have to realize about Mesopotamian religion, literature. You know, when we think about if we were going to sit down and write a encyclopedia entry on the Mesopotamian gods, for example, we'd want to find a very clear lineage. For example, who's the father, who are the sons, the daughters. You know, where do they line up? Who married whom? Sometimes those lines get blurred in the traditions, right? So don't be surprised if you read a text and you're like, wait a minute, I thought that he was the son of, but it says here that he's the son of, but I thought that they were brother and sister, but here it says that that's all perfectly normal. It doesn't appear that there was such a great necessity to have those things be terribly consistent throughout.
There wasn't like a single overarching hierarchy. There are commonalities from city to city to city as to who's in charge. But I feel like as you get further down the divine hierarchy, everything gets a little more muddled. And
you got to think, and Megan's talking about it in the video series that she's doing now for the Daily Data, but there's a northern theology, there's a southern theology, and of course these vary over time. So it just don't be surprised if you can't nail down whose father is Utu, or whose brother is.
Because it varies depending on where you are.
Maybe not Utu particularly, but I mean, just thinking about a god, it can be complicated. Yeah. Okay. Good question.
It is. As soon as he had slain all 7 of the auras, the war net of 2 talents weight and the dirk of 8, a load of 10 talents he took up. He went down to trample the forest. He discovered the secret abode of the gods, Gilgamesh felling the trees, Enkidu choosing the timber. There's a gap here. But then when it resumes, Enkidu speaks. Enkidu opened his mouth to speak, saying to Gilgamesh, "My friend, we have felled a lofty cedar whose top thrust up into the sky. I will make a door, 6 rods in height, 2 rods in breadth, 1 cubit in thickness, whose pole and pivots, top and bottom, will all be of a piece." That's a really big door. And it's a really big door made out of a single piece of wood, which is awesome. He went trampling through the forest of cedar. He discovered the secret abode of the gods. The wild-born knew how to give counsel. He said to his friend, "By your strength alone you slew the guardian. What can bring you dishonor? Lay low the forest of cedar. Seek out for me a lofty cedar, whose crown is high as the heavens. I will make a door of a reed's length breadth. Let it not have a pivot. Let it travel in the door jamb. Its side will be a cubit, a reed length its breadth. Let no stranger draw near it. Let a god have love for it. To the house of Enlil the Euphrates shall bear it. Let the folk of Nippur rejoice over it. Let the god Enlil delight over it." They bound together a raft. They laid the cedar on it. Enkidu was helmsman, and Gilgamesh carried the head of Humbaba. So they've cut down the trees, and they are using the river Euphrates to float the trees down the I was going to say down the river, but I've said river about 4 times.
And if you've ever seen a picture of the Euphrates River, you have to imagine that as they're going down it, they're singing just around the river bend.
You're amazing.
Okay. There are like, in my head, I take notes on which jokes land and which ones don't.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, that was one of the good ones. That's what
We have a question. Tim Smith, wasn't Ishtar the god of Uruk? She was. Yep. Ishtar was the city god of Uruk.
But again, you have to be careful with something like Ishtar, because Ishtar becomes just a name of a word for goddess. So then you end up, in other words, if you only ascribe a certain meaning to certain terms and you don't allow for variation based on context, you can really create some interesting models, I suppose, to try to understand why is the Ishtar the goddess up here and over here and over here and over here and over here? Why is this her city? Why is this her city? It's complicated.
And actually, we're about to start tablet 6, which is entitled Ishtar and the Bull of Heaven. So, the lady in question appears.
You want me to read a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Sweet. All right. How are we doing? 18 watching, 6 likes. You guys are awesome. That's a third. I mean, that's pretty good.
It is good.
I think it's because my hat was sideways in the beginning.
Well,
maybe that's why the likes are lower. All right. You said we started 6. Sorry. Oh, I see it. Okay. He washed his matted hair. He cleaned his equipment. He shook his hair down over his back. Casting aside his dirty gear, he clad himself in clean wrapped cloaks round him, tied with a sash. Then did Gilgamesh put on his crown. On the beauty of Gilgamesh, Lady Ishtar looked with longing. Come, Gilgamesh, be you my bridegroom. Grant me your fruit, so grant me. Be you my husband and I your wife. Let me harness you a chariot of lapis lazuli and gold. Its wheels shall be gold, and its horns shall be amber. Driving lions in a team and mules of great size, enter our house amid the sweet scent of cedar. As you enter our house, doorway and footstools shall kiss your feet. Kings, courtiers, and nobles shall kneel before you. Produce of mountain and lowland they shall bring you as tribute. Your goats shall bear triplets, your ewes shall bear twins. Your donkey, when laden, shall outpace any mule. Your horse shall gallop at the chariot in glory. Man, I'm having a hard time seeing this tonight. No ox shall match yours at the yoke. Gilgamesh opened his mouth to speak, saying to the lady Ishtar, and if indeed I take you in marriage, body and clothing, whence would come my food and my sustenance? Would you feed me bread that is fit for a god and pour me ale that is fit for a king? Sounds pretty good. Some ale fit for a king.
I like it.
Do you? I didn't know you liked ale.
Oh, no, I don't. I'm just saying it sounds good.
Oh, yeah. I was about to get excited that you.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
It's all right.
it's got hops in it.
Hops.
I'm not a fan.
You like skips.
And jumps.
Oh my lord. I'm so
We're the
amazing.
best.
Is that what everybody was thinking? Amazing.
We're the best.
Appreciate that. Who is there who would take you in marriage? You, a frost that congeals no ice.
That just doesn't sound nice.
No. I don't think it's something you want to say on a first date.
Especially not to a goddess.
You don't want to say it like this. A aloof door that stays not the breeze nor draft. A palace that massacres warriors. An elephant which something its hoods. I'd like to know. What's in the break? What's in the break? What does the elephant do? Okay. Bitumen that stains the hands of its bearer. A water skin that cuts the hands of its bearer. Limestone that weakens a wall of ashlar. A battering ram that destroys the walls of the enemy. A shoe that bites the foot of its owner. That's an interesting Amarsuan, I think it is, that has the shoe that bites him and kills him.
It is, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Sorry.
inside. Sorry.
Geeking out here.
Geeking out, yo. God, I'm such a dork.
I love you.
What bridegroom of yours did endure forever? What brave warrior of yours went up to the heavens? Come, let me tell you the tale of your lovers. This just...
No, Ishtar, I will not marry you because
Yeah.
all of your husbands end up dead.
This reminds
This is
me...
not a thing you want to be saying to that woman.
This really reminds me of Billy Madison, where he gives the answer at the end of the movie, and he says, "What you just said was the most incoherent, rambling, whatever thing. At no point, yeah, that's what it is. At no point, in your incoherent rambling did you say anything that even came close to a rational thought. All of us are dumber for having heard it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul." And Billy Madison says, simple no. Like, will you marry me? No. But you can't do that.
No.
I can't do that. I feel like I just wasted time. I apologize. I'll read really fast now. I won't.
Aquasaurus says, dork is the scientific term for whale penis. I have no idea if that's true, but that's hilarious.
Yeah. How would you know that? I mean, like, not know, like, I'm not questioning you, but like, what drove you to go look that up?
Maybe he's a whale penis expert.
This is true. A WPE. Okay, sorry. Actually, I guess it makes sense. You would look up the word dork. That's, you know what? Never mind. God. I wish I were smarter. All right. Right. Dumuzi. Dumuzi, the lover of your youth, year upon year, to lamenting you, doomed him. You loved the speckled alalu bird, but struck him down and broke his wing. Now he stands in the woods crying, my wing! Such a great life. That's all he does, stand there. You loved the lion, perfect in strength, but for him you dug 7 pits and 7. You loved the horse, so famed in battle, but you made his destiny whip, spur, and lash. You made his destiny a 7-league gallop. You made his destiny to drink muddy water, and doomed Silili, his mother, to perpetual weeping. You loved the shepherd, the grazier, the grazer, the herdsman, who gave you piles of loaves baked in embers, and slaughtered kids for you day after day. You struck him and turned him into a wolf. Now his very own shepherd boys chase him away, and his dogs take bites at his haunches. You loved Ishulanu, your father's gardener, who used to bring you dates in a basket, daily making your table gleam. You eyed him up and went to meet him. Oh, my Ishulanu, let us taste your vigor. Put out your hand and stroke my quim. But Ishulanu said to you, me? What do you want of me? Did my mother not bake? Have I not eaten? That now I should eat the bread of slander and insults? Should I let only rushes cover me in winter? When you heard what he'd said, you struck him and turned him into a dwarf. You sat him down in the midst of his labors. He cannot go up, he cannot go down. Must you love me also and deal with me likewise? The goddess understood that she had done wrong to all of these people and quietly went back to her father to ponder all of these things. It doesn't say that. You should read the part of Ishtar. Sorry. Yeah, she doesn't
Thank
learn
you.
from that. Well, I meant that.
I know.
Actually, I don't know how I meant that. I just
meant
picture
it.
you as mighty Ishtar. And
Aw.
this is your part.
You're amazing.
Huh.
When the goddess Ishtar heard these words, she went up to heaven in a furious rage. Weeping, she went to Anu, her father. Before Antu, her mother, her tears did flow. O father, again and again does Gilgamesh scorn me, telling a tale of foulest slander about me and insults too. I'm sure slander actually has to be incorrect to be slanderous, doesn't it? I'm not sure this is slander. I think this is truth that she doesn't like to hear. Anu opened his mouth to speak, saying to the lady Ishtar, "Ah, but was it not you who provoked King Gilgamesh?" So he told a tale of foulest slander about you and insults too. Ishtar opened her mouth to speak, saying to her father Anu, "Father, give me, please, the bull of heaven, so in his dwelling I may slay Gilgamesh." This is why you don't piss off Ishtar. "If you do not give me the bull of heaven, I will smash the gates of the netherworld right down to its dwelling. To the world below I shall grant manumission. I shall bring up the dead to consume the living. I shall make the dead outnumber the living."
Does anybody recognize that from last night?
Where did we see it, Joshua?
I don't know. That's why I was asking you guys. I don't remember.
Anu opened his mouth to speak, saying to the lady Ishtar, "If you want from me the bull of heaven, let the widow of Uruk gather 7 years chaff, and the farmer of Uruk grow 7 years hay." Ishtar opened her mouth to speak, saying to her father Anu, "Already I stored, already I grew. The widow of Uruk has gathered 7 years chaff. The farmer of Uruk has grown 7 years hay. With the wrath of the bull of heaven, I shall have vengeance."
So this, one of the things that Inanna is known for in many of her hymns, and in the literary texts, you can see it in things like Curse of Agaday, I think. It's pretty explicit there. She is the goddess of the storehouse, right? So she, it's part of her job to make sure that there's grain stored up, for bad harvest
Times
years
of
or something.
famine.
So he's saying, all right, if I'm going to turn the bull of heaven into, turn it loose, it's going to, kick some ass down there on earth and probably going to have some bad times harvest wise.
Have to make sure the people are okay.
Yeah.
And she says, "It's done.
It's what I do's.
It's what I do." Sorry. Our 5-year-old has the wonderful habit of saying it's what he does. Like if Oliver's crying or if Daddy's working, it's what he does. So we've kind of adopted it because, well.
Also, for the same reason we've adopted Baby Shark. I still don't know if I'm doing that right.
Okay, so Akos Eris checks out the whale penis thing because, no, always check your sources. Always ask, how do you know that?
That's right.
And he says, for the sake of our channel motto, apparently dork is slang for penises, but his attribution to whale cock are false and unsubstantiated.
Oh.
So, dork means penis, but not specifically whale penis.
So it could be anybody's penis?
Anybody's penis, I think. There we go. See, this is
Enki's dork extends over the oceans.
Research and practice here, people. Right, Ishtar's getting the bull of heaven. Anu heard this speech of Ishtar and the bull of heaven's nose rope he placed in her hands. Down came Ishtar, leading it onward. When it reached the land of Uruk, it dried up the woods, the reed beds and marshes. Down it went to the river, lowered the level by 7 full cubits. As the bull of heaven snorted, a pit opened up. 100 men of Uruk fell down it. A second time it snorted, a pit opened up. 200 men of Uruk fell down it. This
must be like a spaceship weapon, of mass destruction thing. Seems like a very inefficient way to kill people. I'm going to shoot a big hole in the ground and let 100 people fall into it.
I mean, it's a giant bull.
No, but it's a spaceship.
Oh, the spaceship, I see.
Yeah, spaceship.
The third time it snorted, a pit opened up, and Enkidu fell in as far as his waist. Enkidu sprang up and seized the bull by the horns. In his face, the bull spat lava. With the tuft of its tail, it did a thing, we don't know what. Enkidu opened his mouth to speak, saying to Gilgamesh, his friend, My friend, we vaunted ourselves in our city. How shall we answer the thronging people? My friend, I have tested the might of the bull, so learning its strength and knowing its purpose. Let me test again the might of the bull. I shall get myself behind the bull of heaven. I will seize it by the tuft of the tail. I will set my foot in the back of its leg. Then you, like a butcher, brave and skillful, between the yoke of the horns and the slaughter spot, thrust in your knife. Enkidu rushed round to the rear of the bull. He seized it by the tuft of the tail. He set his foot in the back of its leg. Then Gilgamesh, like a butcher, brave and skillful, between the yoke of the horns and the slaughter spot, he thrust in his knife. Given that Ishtar was like, that's going to kill them, I think they dispatched it pretty quickly.
Yeah, indeed.
After they had slain the bull of heaven, they bore its heart aloft and set it before Shamash. Stepping back, they fell prostrate in the presence of the sun god. Then both of them together sat down. Ishtar went on the wall of Uruk the sheepfold. Hopping and stamping, she wailed in woe. Alas, Gilgamesh, who mocked me, has killed the bull of heaven. Enkidu heard these words of Ishtar, and tearing a haunch off the bull, he hurled it toward her. Had I caught you too, I'd have treated you likewise. I'd have draped your arms in its guts. They don't learn.
No.
Don't insult Ishtar. Bad things happen.
It's like pulling on Superman's cape.
Mm-hmm. Ishtar assembled the courtesans, prostitutes, and harlots over the bull's haunch, and she began rites of mourning. Gilgamesh summoned all the smiths and craftsmen, the size of the horns the craftsman admires. 30 minas of lapis lazuli in a solid block, 2 minas each their rims, 6 core of oil, the capacity of both. He gave them to his god Lugalbanda to hold oil for anointment. He took them in to hang in his chamber. They washed their hands in the river Euphrates, took each other by the hand, and in they came. As they drove along the streets of Uruk, the people were gathered to gaze on them. Gilgamesh spoke a word to the serving girls of his palace. Who is the finest among men? Who is the most glorious of fellows? Gilgamesh is the finest among men. Gilgamesh, the most glorious of fellows. Gilgamesh made merry in his palace. At night, the men lay asleep on their beds, and Enkidu, as he slept, was having a dream. Enkidu rose to relate the dream, saying to his friend, and that's the end of that tablet. What's the time? We've got time to keep them.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that, sorry, my mind, given some of the things that I've been interacting about in the evenings here and on the weekends, about like this Lord Rael group, every time, or the Sitchin stuff, every time I read this stuff, I think to myself, I mean, it's utter nonsense, right? But when you hear these things very specifically, you hear why it's utter nonsense. It's so things like that they want Enki to be like the bad guy, right? But in reality, here in this text, it's Shamash, right? It's not that he's being a bad guy, but I mean, if you want to think about the person that's doing things that Enlil doesn't like, it's Shamash, right? So they take Humbaba and they kill him, and Enlil doesn't like that. An gives Ishtar the bowl of heaven. They kill it, take the heart, give it to Shamash. I mean, like, yeah, I just find that interesting because, of course, that's completely out of character with, or doesn't fit their theological model. And of course, what they would say is, oh, this is just a pro Enki scribe or some shit. And it's just, sorry.
This is tablet 7.
Can we read a little bit?
Yeah, the death of Enkidu.
The DOE. My friend, why were the great gods in council? Enkidu began to speak to Gilgamesh. Oh, wait. 7. What follows does not recover the missing episode. Sorry, he's reconstructing things. Okay. Enkidu began to speak to Gilgamesh. My brother, this night, what a dream I dreamed. The gods Anu, Enlil, Ea, and celestial Shamash held assembly, and Anu spoke unto Enlil. These, because they slew the bull of heaven, and slew Humbaba that guarded the mountains, dense wooded with cedar, so said Anu, between these two let one of them die. And Enlil said, let Enkidu die, but let not Gilgamesh die. Celestial Shamash began to reply to the hero Enlil. Was it not at your word that they slew him, the bull of heaven? And also Humbaba? Now shall innocent Enkidu die? Enlil was wroth at Celestial Shamash. How like a comrade you marched with them daily. Enkidu lay down before Gilgamesh. His tears flowed down like streams. Oh, my brother, dear to me is my brother. They will never raise me up again for my brother. Among the dead I shall sit. The threshold of the dead I shall cross. Never again shall I set eyes on my dear brother. All right, so the text of Tablet 7 resumes with Enkidu's delirium. Enkidu lifted his eyes as though to the door. He talked with the door as if with a man. O door of the woodland that has no sense, I have understanding that you have not. For 20 leagues I sought for you the finest timber, until in the forest I found a tall cedar. Your tree had no rival in the forest of cedar. 6 rods is your height, 2 rods your breadth, 1 cubit your thickness. Your pole and your pivots, top and bottom, are all in one piece. I fashioned you, lifted you, I hung you in Nippur. Nippur is the city of Enlil. His temple is the Acor, the mountain house. Had I but known, O door, that you would repay me, had I but known, O door, that so you would reward me, I would have lifted my axe, I would have cut you down, I would have floated you down as a raft to the Ababar, which is the temple in Sippar of Shamash. Oh, and it says it here. To Ababar, the temple of Shamash, I would have brought you. I would have set up the cedar in the gate of Ababar. In its doorway, I would have stood Thunderbird and Bull Colossus. Your entrance I would have placed. I would have the city, Shamash, and in Uruk, another city, Gilgamesh's city, obviously. Because Shamash heard what I said, and in time of peril he gave me a weapon. Now, O door, it was I who fashioned you, who lifted you up. Can I now break you up? Can I now tear you down? May a king who comes after me bear for you hatred, or hang you where you cannot be seen. May he remove my name and write upon you his own. Notice the significance of perpetuity, having a name inscribed on something. Lots of Mesopotamian curses, lots of Mesopotamian inscriptions have curse formulae on them, and they say, may he who erases my name be cursed
have his
by.
progeny ripped out, have his seed destroyed.
It's very significant, is the point.
Interestingly, seems to start with the Akkadian kings.
Yeah.
No curse formula before then.
Interesting. So this is what Megan does. This is her dissertation. She wears those.
It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
I apologize profusely.
You shouldn't. I love it.
Okay. He tore out. He cast it. As he listened to his words, all of a sudden his tears were flowing. As Gilgamesh listened to the words of Enkidu, his friend, all of a sudden his tears were flowing. Gilgamesh opened his mouth to speak, saying to Enkidu, my friend in preeminent, do you who had understanding and reason now speak profanity? Why, my friend, does your heart talk profanity? The dream was special, great the anxiety. Your feverish lips were buzzing like flies. The misgivings were great, the dream was rare. To the one who survives, the gods leave grieving. The dream leaves sorrow to the one who survives. The great gods I'll beseech in supplication. Let me seek out Shamash. I'll appeal to your God. In your presence, I will pray to Anu, father of the gods. May great counselor Enlil hear my prayer in your presence. May my entreaty find favor with Ea. I will fashion your statue in gold without limit. We need to put in the search items cat or kitten or something. Okay. My friend gave no silver. Give no silver. Give no gold. Give no. The word of Enlil is not like the gods. When he commands, he doesn't erase. What he sets down, he doesn't erase. And this is a trope throughout Sumerian literary texts, Akkadian. Enlil's word is like, it can't be countered. right? It's what he decrees, that's what takes place. So it's anyway, it's a trope. That's not surprising. My friend, fixed is my destiny. People go to their doom before their time. At the very first glimmer of brightening dawn, Enkidu lifted his head, lamenting to Shamash. Under the rays of the sun, his tears were flowing. I appeal to you, Shamash, for my life so precious. As for the hunter, the trapper man, who let me be not as great as my friend, may the hunter be not as great as his friend, destroy his profit, diminish his income. I'm wondering if we should stop. No, we can. All right, we'll finish this section. So he's getting ready to curse, right? Remember the hunter, the trapper. He's the one that was like, hey,
He found Enkidu. He's the reason Enkidu was brought back to civilization. He's the reason that Enkidu, at the root of it, is now dying. Because if Enkidu hadn't come to civilization and met Gilgamesh, he wouldn't have helped kill Humbaba, he wouldn't have killed the Bull of Heaven, and he wouldn't be cursed by the gods.
So he's going to curse the hunter. He's going to curse Shamhat, the prostitute that, got busy with him. Sorry. Right. May his share be cut in your presence. The house where he enters, may its god leave by the window. After he had cursed the hunter to his heart's content, he decided also to curse Shamhat the harlot. Come, Shamhat, I will fix your destiny, a doom to endure for all eternity. I will curse you with a mighty curse. My curse shall afflict you now and forthwith. A household to delight in you shall not acquire. Interestingly, some of the literature that's the secondary literature that talks about prostitution in the ancient Near East, particularly Mesopotamia, these are some of the sources that you can go to. At least it can inform, because it's going to describe some of the good things that maybe a prostitute would hope for and some of the bad things that they wouldn't hope for, and because of the blessing and the curse. Of course, you got to be careful when you use that sort of information, but okay. A household to delight in you shall not acquire, never to reside in the midst of a family. In the young woman's chamber you shall not sit. Your finest garment the ground shall defile. Your festive gown the drunkard shall stain in the dirt. Things of beauty you shall never acquire. No table for a banquet, the people's abundance, shall be laid in your house. The bed you delight in shall be a miserable bench. The junction of highways shall be where you sit. A field of ruins shall be where you sleep. The shadow of the rampart shall be where you stand. Thorn and briar shall skin your feet. Drunk and sober shall strike your cheek. Shall be plaintive and claim against you. The roof of your house no builder shall plaster. In your bedroom the owl shall roost. At your table never shall banquet take place. Because you made me weak, who was undefiled. Yes, in the wild you weakened me, who was undefiled. Okay. Sorry. The military mind in me is like, we have to be precise with our timing here. Okay. Because you made, Shamash heard what he had spoken. Straight away from the sky there cried out a voice. This is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased.
Nope.
Sorry. That's for all you guys that are asleep.
Long reading.
Oh, Enkidu, why curse Shamhat the harlot, who fed you bread that was fit for a god, and poured you ale that was fit for a king, who clothed you in a splendid garment, and gave you as companion the handsome Gilgamesh. And now Gilgamesh, your friend and your brother, will lay you out on a magnificent bed. On a bed of honor he will lay you out. He will place you on his left, on a seat of repose. The rulers of the underworld will all kiss your feet. The people of Uruk he will have mourn and lament you. The thriving people he will fill full of woe for you. After you are gone, his hair will be matted in mourning. Clad in the skin of a lion, he will wander the wild. Enkidu heard the words of Shamash the hero. His heart so angry grew calm. His heart so furious grew calm. And he changes his mind. Come, Shamhat, I will fix your destiny.
We should maybe stop there.
Okay.
We have a question.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. So we will continue this.
Yes.
Probably next week. I don't think we have any other plans. We have one question. If you have any other questions, get them in now because we're going to be finishing in 5 minutes' time. I'm not going to try and pronounce your name. I'm really sorry. How long after they created writing did they start writing stories like this, or did it start right away?
We actually know. So we probably have literature early as 2600. I mean, we definitely have literary texts in third millennium. There's a text called the Figure à Plume, which there's some good reputable scholars that would say that there's a Vilca, for example, Klaus Vilca says that this is a literary text, and it very well may be. So, writing's invented end of the fourth millennium, so middle of the third, roughly.
So not right away. But even after like writing is invented, it takes a while for like a full grammatical structure to be written down instead of just objects.
And this is pretty significant, I think, when you think about this whole idea. Not that anybody, I want to, but when you think about alien race giving all this knowledge and it immediately, it just didn't happen that way. Right. Writing takes time to develop. We have the stages of its development. It's initially used administratively. Then you see this rebus principle taking in where the individual signs that are logograms are being used for their phonetic value, and you're stringing syllables together. I mean, it just takes time to develop that. So
they probably had an oral tradition.
Oh, yeah.
Of this kind of epic literature that we have no evidence for because it's oral. And because writing was originally invented for administrative purposes, it probably took a while before people thought, hey, we could write down stories as well as one sheep, two goats received. So, yeah, good question. Let's see.
Shane, thank you for always doing that.
Yeah. Shane does a great job.
And we really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Seriously, every time we get off the stream, say Shane was incredible.
Getting some lovely comments from everybody. Just thank you for joining us. I'm sorry this is shorter than normal. If you're only just joining us, I'm really sorry. Josh is going on Skylar Fiction show in 5 minutes.
So please,
I'm putting.
Can we put the link
in? Yeah.
Cool. So please.
So go watch, enjoy.
It's going to be good. Of course, it's always fun to watch Skylar, and so there's if I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, but he did a debate with Inspiring Philosophy on Modern Day Hysteria's channel, and this was maybe a month ago or something, and somebody recently put out a critique of it, and it was sort of I don't like saying things like this about people, but he was just sort of an arrogant git about it. He seems like generally a nice guy, but I mean, he just, he sat back in this very pious way and said, I feel so sorry for you, Skylar. And, you can't know anything because you're not a Christian. And it was just so condescending that, so Skylar is going to do a video response. And because he mentioned me, this person mentioned me in the video, I asked Skylar if I could join in, because I think it's going to be a good stream. So if you could, please come on over and watch. I think it'll be a good time. It should start in about 6 minutes. So
thank you everyone for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Lots of fun. We will be back next Saturday, probably at the same time, because then Oliver is in bed and won't vomit on me on camera, which is always a joy. Yes, thank you for joining me. Infinite Blast. Yes, Josh is a doctor. Not a medical doctor. He's a doctor of philosophy.
I have a PhD in Assyriology from the Johns Hopkins University. Yeah. I have a minor in Hebrew Bible.
Oh, it's been suggested you are the doctor.
Oh.
I'm down with that.
Doctor Who.
Oh, and Shane has shared the Thug Life Gilgamesh for us. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thug knows Gilgamesh. Yes. So everyone, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week.
You want to take us out?
I'm not sure I'm awake enough to.
Okay.
I need you to start me off.
Thank you all for watching, and remember.
I know.
Resist poor scholarship.
I know. Resist poor scholarship. Always ask, how do you know that?
Good night, everyone.
Bye.